So, greetings from Alumni Committee of Xavier's Institute of Management, Bhubaneswar, popularly known as Alcom XIMB. I am Vivek Joshi, a shadow member of Alcom, hereby heartily welcoming Mr. Tirthankar Talukdar, a financial transformation consultant at Accenture, with around 9 years of experience in the field of finance consulting, healthcare, and IT industry. During this journey, he has been a part of companies like Tech Mahindra, Deloitte, and Accenture. Well, he is from the BM batch of 2014 and a founder and coordinator of our own committee, SpeakUp, the Oratory Club at XIMB. It's a pleasure to have you on board for this Know Your Alumni session, also known as KYA. So,
Thank you.
so moving ahead to the first question. So, please tell us something about your time at XIMB during 2014-12. How was it to be in the campus, etc.?
Sure, sure. So I believe that was the last batch which had 180 students, 2012 batch. In 2013, I think it was increased to 240, if I'm not wrong. So that's the one information that I clearly remember. So we were the last batch with 180 students. And it used to be only one campus, the Bhubaneswar campus. So the XUB campus was not there. And apart from that, about the life, I'm sure it has changed a lot now. The Although the grilling at that time, the amount of courses that we had, the assignments, exams, and stuff, definitely those things would be same even now as well. And apart from that, I miss the entire the timeline, right? When you wake up in the morning and you have to rush to the classes and you have to complete your assignments and project for the next day within time. And I'll never forget my second trimester. It was the most grilling one, which had 13 subjects. I remember those days at which we used to have even 2 exams on a day. So and it was really very hard time. But anyway, I mean, enjoyed thoroughly, and I'm sure even things are same as now as well. And definitely it was a good learning experience as well during MBA. That's all. I mean, not only studies but had a great time at the campus.
Great, great, sir. I think we agree with the rigor part. We have been going through that, so great to know that, sir. Moving on to the next question. So, how difficult, in your view, is the consulting domain, especially for the people who are having very little or no experience in this field?
Okay, so experience matters a bit, as we all understand. So most of the folks who join MBA had at least 1 or 2 years of experience, if not three. So I had like 1 year, 9, 10 months experience before my MBA, and that was purely in IT programming and software industry. From experience point of view, the job will anyway teach how you have to handle the clients, because as consulting is not only the work that you perform, you'd also have to handle clients and find out solutions for them. Okay, you have to actually sit with the client and consult them, advise them on specific requirements. Okay, now there are two ways to do that. Either you can completely depend on job training, we call OJT, right? So, and the other way is to start learning about stuff. It's not always easy to learn on the job, because definitely you will also depend on the kind of activities that you're doing at the job. So it may not, if we both are working in the same company, I may be a bit lucky, okay, and doing better consulting work than you. So how can you perform at my level? How can you do that? The other way is to learn constantly, which we have been doing since our childhood, right? So we have to constantly learn so that we are capable enough to do the same thing and compare us with a guy who is learning everything on the job. So it's not only OJT, we also have to learn from other sources, secondary sources as well. Might be from my books, might be speaking to other colleagues and friends, might be from Google as well. But we need to constantly learn. Like I've worked in finance, healthcare, and retail, right? So it's not always the client experiences. It's also the way you understand how the retail industry is changing, how the banks will have to change, right? Based on the current scenario, based on the future scenario. So it's learning plus the on-job training.
On the similar lines, like as you mentioned, you had a shift from an IT industry to the consulting and finance domain post your MBA, wherein you've done pre-sale support, process optimization, project management, among many other stints that you might have taken.
Mhm.
Which one of them was the most interesting one as per you? And does your prior work experience help in dealing with those projects after MBA?
Okay. So the most interesting part is the process optimization. There are multiple finance processes in an organization. Like to name something in finance, we call record to report, procure to pay, order to cash. These are the basic finance processes in an organization. So I like to deal with these finance processes with the client, sitting with the client. So whenever I have spoken to a client, whenever I have moved to the client site, whenever I've spoken to them on a conference call, so always I like this very interesting that whenever they come up with a problem, you try to use your knowledge, and that's all. I mean, you can use your knowledge from any point of view. Whatever you have learned so far, it might be from your previous experience, it might be from your current experience, or from colleagues or friends, right? So that's the most interesting and the most challenging part. That's what I have seen in my entire career. uh, when I speak to the client, try to understand their problem and try to optimize the processes. Because if you try to understand all the problems that they come up with, that might be part of a process. You work in any industry, any organization, any department, it would be always linked to some other kind of process. So if you can deal with the process, everything will ultimately come in line. And about your next question, did my previous experience help me in the journey? Definitely yes, because although that was not into consulting, but I understood in my previous experience how to handle problems. The problem can be any problem, but how as a consultant you handle the problems, that is the most important thing. And that's what I learned from my previous experience.
Great, sir. It has been said that a good consultant always prepare well in advance before entering any project. Is it so, sir? And if so, how do you approach the unknown territories, the ones where haven't you haven't worked previously?
Understood. So there are two sides of a coin, Vivek. Okay. So first, in any kind of an assignment in your life, okay, you would not be aware of everything. Correct. So let's say we know the side of the head, but we don't know the side of the tail. Okay. So we know at least 50% of what we are entering in. I have worked in a couple of, let's say, finance projects already. Now, if I have been given the responsibility to work in another finance consulting project, I already know what kind of questions might come up, what kind of problems might come up. That's a 50% of it. The next 50%, there are problems which are organization centric, which probably we would not have seen in the previous projects. So we anyway, that's true for anything in life, correct? So I mean, you don't know about your competitors, you don't know about the entire journey, correct? But you whatever you know, you need to do your homework before you proceed further. And on the project itself, I believe, and I was quite lucky. There are such friends and colleagues that I have who who's I mean, never got time to learn as much when they went into the project. So they learned on the project itself. That opportunity will anyway get. So it's a 50-50%. That's what I say, the head and tail of a coin. If you don't know something, you can always get the opportunity to learn on the project. You just need to shell more time. That's called shell out more time of yours. If you can, that's enough to work in any kind of project, in any kind of industry.
Thank you, sir, for that insight. Moving ahead, like I'm observing, and we've been told that a good consultant also has great communication skills, and I can observe that with while interacting with you. So, sir, usually deals with meeting new people every time, and you might have to take out information just after meeting the person for 5 or 10 minutes. So, sir, how do you go about that?
Okay, I'm quite sure in your so far in your life you would have heard the skill of listening, the listening skill, right? So whenever you're interacting with someone, the best thing, and it is not only true for consulting projects or in the job. It is true for any assignment in life, any journey in life. The more you listen from a person, the more you'll be able to interact with the person. So that's what I follow. Whenever I meet someone, a new client, I try to understand first all of their problems. I don't jump in with the solutions. So if you come to me, you might be a restless person, restless client, right? So you might tell me 10 problems. The solutions are already started in my mind. They have already started to get cooked in my mind, but I will not jump in between itself. I'll wait for all the 10 problems that you're telling me to complete, and then I'll start with my solutions. So listening skill is the best friend of a consultant in his or her journey.
Thank you, sir. One last question on my side. So it's been observed since last few years that consulting has been one of the domains which is looked forward to by the students. So, sir, being a stalwart in this industry, do you have any suggestions for the students to who are aspiring to enter the consulting field?
Sure, yeah. So a couple of things here, Vivek. The first is you need to constantly learn. If someone wants to join consulting industry, be it in any industry, be it in any industry like finance, retail, or anything else, but if you want to join consulting industry, you need to constantly learn. You should not stop learning at any point in time. Okay, even if you are a 20 years experienced person, you need to learn because things are changing rapidly. We never knew that COVID-19 would be a situation this year. Okay, so COVID-19 came and everything changed, right? So everything fell apart first, and then we're trying to find out a solution. Okay, so that's the most important thing, learning. Next thing is you need to think that everyone around you, the stakeholders, the clients, the colleagues, the leaders that you're working with, okay, and obviously your family members, relatives, okay, everyone there has something to teach you. You need to learn from them. Okay, so you might think that how a family member can teach me about consulting. He or she, your father or mother, may not be able to teach you about an industry, about retail or finance, maybe, okay, 90% of cases, but they might be able to teach you a life skill which probably will help you at a client. Okay, like I told you with listening skill, right? So you might have seen this, experienced this with other people. So you need to learn constantly from stakeholders as well. So that's what I say. Not don't only learn from books, okay? Also try to learn from the people, the flesh and blood, okay? People, human beings. And the last, the most important thing that I believe, if you can succeed as a consultant, you need to first succeed as a human being. You need to have patience and you need to be grateful to people. So two keywords I always tell to my friends or even my juniors as well, that you need to have patience and gratitude. If you can have these two qualities in you, you can succeed in any areas of life, anything. So that's my that suggestion to folks who want to get into the consulting industry.
Thank you so much. I'm sure they'll be delighted to listen to these suggestions. I know that I had told the last question, but just one more question that came to my mind. What was the thought process behind starting or founding the SpeakUp Club or the committee in XIMB? Your contribution is highly appreciated across the batches. In fact, even our batch had great positives coming out of it. So, your thoughts?
Sure. When we joined the campus, there was no committee which could bring this stage fear completely out of a student. Like when you join, maybe we all join MBA at the age bracket of 21 to 25, right? So maybe there are some freshers coming after their bachelor's, and there might be folks who have like 2 3 years experience. So a lot of folks were there, a lot of friends were there who suggested that they still have this stage fear. Like, and as you know, that stage fear is one of the most important and one of the most deadliest fear in a human being. Okay, so we thought, why not start something which will, at least if we can take 5% of our friends or juniors or seniors on the stage without any fear, we can do something. That's like if you light a single lamp, and if we thousands of people light one lamp each, Okay, that is enough to light to bright an entire place, an entire area. Correct. That's what we thought, that the stage fear is one of the important part. And like as you said, right, communication skill is fine, knowing a language is fine, but how comfortable you are speaking on a stage. You have been speaking your mother tongue since your childhood, but how comfortable you are speaking that from a stage in front of thousands of people. So that was our initiative to get this fear out from our friends, our stakeholders surrounded by us. And probably this is doing well because I am part of the Facebook page, and I see a lot of stuffs happening. So I really feel proud about it, and sometimes I really feel I really want to take pride in it because we started this. And if it is helping even one person a year, that is enough. That person might help another person, and the chain will continue.
Well, thank you so much. It isn't just helping one person, it's helping entire batches of people. So we appreciate that contribution of yours to the legacy of XIMB. Thank you so much, sir, for being a part of this Know Your Alumni session. It was a pleasure interacting with you and knowing your insights regarding all the domains and your experiences. Thank you so much, sir, for being a part of this.
And thank you, Vivek, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.